No sound. Uh, how about this? Can you hear me now? Let's do a test. No sound. Huh, I can hear myself. That means it's working. Cool. Hello, Nishant. I hope you can hear me now. Well, now we can hear. Sweet. And let me make sure that it's live on other platforms as well. I'm using Streamlabs for the very first time today, and uh, so just make sure that it's working. Gotta sign in real quick. Nishant, where are you joining us from, and what time is it where you are? Hi, Zorba. Nice to see you. Let's get some music going. Uttar Pradesh, India, 11:05 a.m. Nice. Um, Samyak Shruti ma'am's big fan here. Thank you, Samyak. That is so sweet. Um, Hold on, let me put some music on. And I have a really fun session today. You are up late. Nice to see you again. Hi, Pinak. You are up late. It is later in your day than it is for me. Nice to see you as well again. Thank you for joining every single day since the last 7 days, and thank you for being here every single day. If anybody is here from Twitch or watching me on Twitch or Twitter, please let me know and confirm that it is working there, because I am not able to see the stream on Twitch or Twitter. Okay, next. Tab yes. Tab, tab yes. Sweet. I'm usually out by 10:30. Uh, why are you up so late, Pinak? Okay. not live on Twitch. Okay, that's fine. Do you play guitar? I do. I'm not an expert, but I do play a little bit. I wanted to check your stream, didn't want to miss my streak. Thank you. Play something for us. One day I will. Hi Aditya. Me do piano. Oh, nice. What songs do you play? Okay. Today's video is gonna be a little bit fun because yesterday we were working on doing a recap of whatever happened in 2024, and we didn't get to finish quite. We didn't get to quite finish it. So today we're gonna wrap it up. I have been reading on what's been happening in 2024, and it seems like there's a lot that happened. So in today's video, we're gonna wrap up everything that happened in 2024. And I have taken some notes, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me rename the video as well. What happened in 2024? Okay. You know, they are re-releasing Kahuna Pyare in theaters again, hoping it comes to us. I was actually curious about that. Is it part 2 of Kahuna Pyare, so like a sequel, or is it Kahuna Pyare same? It was meant to be a pun. Me do lol. I play classical R. Oh, I see. I get it now. Nope, the old one, same one from 2000. Okay. I will definitely go to see that in theaters again, though. That was a fun time. I'm sure, like everybody else, we all had a crush on Hrithik Roshan. Okay, let's get some shit done. Share my screen. Share my screen. How's that? I added a little bit of cool effect if you want to check it out. And maybe we'll test this together as well. So if you try if you try subscribing or following on YouTube, it might show a little cute alert. I haven't tested it live, so we'll see if this works. a lot of old movies are being re-released like that. They re-released Karan Arjun like last month or so. I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same with Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. I would love to watch Hum Aapke Hain Kaun in theaters. I did not watch it the first time. Actually, no, that was the first movie I ever watched in theater. Okay, so let's talk about what's new in front end in 2024. Let me increase the font size of this so I can see. Where is it? Okay. Where is it? There. All right. So, in case you missed, in last year, 2024, a lot happened in front end. React 19 became stable. Server components are now part of React 19. TurboPack is stable. Next.js 15 was announced. It led to some breaking changes, but 15 is here. In today's video, we're going to look into what is new in Next.js 15, and Angular 17, 18, and 19 is also released. So in today's session, these are the two things we're going to work on. Astro, we talked about this yesterday, content layer. So Astro has content layer, which is actually really cool because this is how you can pull in your content from different sources. I think we were looking at a post by Astro. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Where is that? Content layer. Oh, there. So let's say that you have JSON object, you have your markdown files like in blog post, you have MDX, you have a CMS, you have API. So you've got like content all over the place. You can pull that up through loaders and then it'll go through a data store, which is really cool because that's something that I have right now. I've got my content all over in markdown files. I've got it in like just plain text and in Notion. So this will be really helpful to kind of combine that all together. So that's content layer. Then server islands is also really cool, which I was reading about it this morning. Let's go to server islands. So server islands kind of builds upon the server architecture of Astro, which is like here. So let's say that you have a static site. Let's say that you have some content that you want. You could have like a blog post. You want to show a person what their name is, their user ID, whether or not they're logged in. And then you would have like a blog post as well. So a lot of that text is static. So with the help of server islands, you can define some parts of your app to be server originated or like server side, like here. So you've got islands, server islands in your app, and the rest is CDN. So that's really cool as well. So it says conceptual. This is similar to the concept of suspense in React, which is basically that you can defer the loading of one stuff until it comes back and then like intelligently load it in once it's ready. But with the key difference that the deferred island is rendered as a separate HTTP request. We have intentionally avoided streaming the static content, which is what happens in React. It actually streams the content in as an element itself within the HTML, and the islands back in a single response to simplify things for your CDN of choice. So this is really cool. Solid also released Solid Start, which is a framework for Solid. Svelte, I have to check what's up with Svelte and Quick. CSS has some new properties like color popover. Then Tanstack Start was announced. It's now in beta version. It's actually a Next.js equivalent. It's a framework which is a Next.js equivalent, but it is client by default and opt-in to server as opposed to Next.js, which is server by default. There's also new tools that were released last year. AI tools like Cursor. Cursor became so popular last year. ChatGPT 4.0, 4.0-O is also out, and V6 has rolled down. So a lot of stuff that happened last year. But in the next few minutes, we're gonna look at what's new in Next.js. which is kind of where we left as well yesterday. So good starting point. Also, this blog post is going to be sent out as a newsletter. So if you haven't yet subscribed, this is where you can find it. You can find all of those articles here, and I'm going to share this in the chat. What's new in recap of front-end in 2024? Sharing this link in the chat. All right. So let's see what's up in Next.js 15. By the way, does anybody here use Next.js? Have you ever used Next.js? I mean, I did like Hona Pyara, but was not a fan of Ritik until Koi Mil Gaya. Really? I loved him in Kahona Pyara. Okay, let's go back to Next.js. Here's what's new in Next.js. Next code mod CLI. Easily upgrade to the Next.js and React versions. It's nice that they're giving a code mod. Async request API is breaking change. Incremental step towards a simplified rendering and caching model. Okay, breaking change makes me nervous, so let's find out. In traditional server-side rendering, the server waits for a request before rendering any content. However, not all components depend on request-specific data, so it's unnecessary to wait for the request to render them. That makes sense. Ideally, the server would prepare as much as possible before a request arrives. Interesting. To enable this and set the stage for future optimizations, we need to know when to wait for the request. Not yet. No, didn't use Next.js. If you haven't used Next.js, I would recommend checking it out because it is a very popular framework of choice for React, especially because all of the new features are coming out with React, with Next.js. Zorba, are you a front-end developer? I'm more of Akshay Kumar, Govinda, 90s Govinda. I love action movies. I don't like Govinda. Akshay Kumar I like. He's awesome. I like him. I like his new movies as well. Okay. Set the stage for future optimizations. We need to know when to wait for the request. Therefore, we are transitioning APIs that rely on request-specific data, such as headers, cookies, params, and search params, to be asynchronous. We are transitioning APIs that rely on request-specific data, such as headers, cookies, params, and search params, to be asynchronous. Interesting. Huh. So you've got admin panel cookie store, and that is going to be an async function because you're waiting for cookies. Interesting. We're transitioning APIs that rely on request-specific data to be asynchronous. Huh. This is a breaking change and affects the following APIs: cookies, headers, draft mode, params, and layout.js. Oh, this is also a breaking change. This is going to impact me because I'm using params in my Next.js, in my homepage, which is built using Next.js. And I do set params when I load a page. For an easier migration, these APIs can temporarily be accessed synchronously, but will show warnings in development and production until the next major version. A code mod is available to automate the migration. Okay, I think that is a really big change, so I'm going to write that down. Breaking change of making async request on, let's do this. Headers, cookies, params, and search params APIs to be async. This is a breaking change. I'm just writing like highlights here. I'm gonna go back in and fill in the details later. But for right now, I'm just writing in highlights. Okay. But there is a code mod available for upgrade. Kizzy Great Gamer. Hello. Hi, Kizzy. First time got to see you live. Thank you for joining. In other news, LA is on fire, literally. Oh God. Anas. Hello, ma'am. Hello, Anas. How are you? Ishrit Madan. Hi. Hi, Ishrit. How are you? Are you joining from YouTube? And if you are, what time is it where you are? Is this on Discord? Just YouTube Live? This is on YouTube Live, but you know what? Let me put it in Discord as well. Thank you for the reminder. I think I need like somebody who can just tell me it's not in here, it's not in here, so I can go ahead and put these everywhere. Because I tend to forget. I need like a manager. Okay, I'm gonna put this in live stream. And you all, we're gonna hang out in the, by the way, if you all haven't joined Discord, you gotta join our Discord. We hang out every week. We do tech talks, we do office hours. I'm gonna put the link in here. Join our Discord. I need a mod, absolutely. I need a mod. Especially during live streams, because it is a lot to manage. Here's our Discord. Yeah, I come from Discord. Okay, hold on. Let me get this live stream going in Discord. I'm gonna put this in the event stage. You guys, this is not easy. Okay, turning this on, turning my mic off, starting an activity. watch together. Copy this, paste it here. There you go. Hopefully that works in Discord too now. And if somebody can confirm that, please, that would be awesome. Not live on LinkedIn. No, not live on LinkedIn right now. Um, I am still dipping. Zorba says I'm still dipping my toes with MERN built some basic backend apps. I'm quite enjoying building stuff. Who knows, might break into tech coming from music background. Definitely pays better. What have you been doing in music, Zorba? And I'm really proud of you that you're dipping your toes in tech. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. I can mod if you stream earlier. Oh, that would be awesome. Pinak, I'm thinking of streaming earlier at 5 every day, except for Tuesdays. So if you are interested, definitely help me on, definitely help me modding other streams, except for this one. I understand this is kind of late for you. Thank you for the help. I really appreciate it. The background music is too loud. Is it? Okay, let me move this here. I think my mic might be picking it up because my phone is too close to the mic. Let me know if it's better now. Thank you for letting me know, Ashrit. This Discord music is fun. Five is great. I can help you out, no problem. Thank you, Pinak. Yay! Okay, rest of you, I would love to know from you, where are you joining us from? It should say 11:26 a.m. here. I'm guessing you're from India. Thank you for joining me in your morning. Meanwhile, let's learn about caching semantics in Next.js. Next.js app router launched with opinionated caching defaults. These were designed to provide the most performant option by default, with the ability to opt out when required. Okay. Based on your feedback, we evaluated our caching heuristics and how they would interact with projects like partial pre-rendering and with third parties libraries like Fetch. Interesting. I have not used caching default in an app router in Next.js. So this is new to me. So let's learn more about caching heuristics. But the rest of it says that with Next.js 15, we're changing the caching default for get route handlers and the client route cache from cached by default to uncached by default. Okay. If you want to retain the previous behavior, you can continue to opt in caching. We are continuing to improve caching in Next.js in the coming months, and we'll share more details soon. Watching from India. Yay, thank you for watching. Ma'am, I'm just revolving around V0 to Bolt, to rollout, to GPT, etc. Trying many. Yeah, if a friend still not get desired result, my suggestion from your side for better result. Trying many AI for front end. I'm trying to understand what you're trying to learn, Anas. If you're trying to learn front end development, hold on, I'm trying to scroll back to see what you're trying to learn if you mentioned that. Hello, Shrinkar from India. Hello, Anas from India. Yes, front end. Okay. Pinak, I'm going to sleep before I look like a zombie. Thank you for joining, Pinak. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, Anna, so for front end, I would say that um, I would first focus on the fundamental skills like HTML, CSS, JavaScript instead of trying out AI tools, because AI is going to generate code for you, but if you don't understand what that code is, then it's hard to be proficient in your job if you're reliant on an AI tool. So I would first focus on the fundamentals. And I'm also curious, what is your desired result? Zorba says, I currently do gigs, tutor, and a bit of freelancing. I don't know what to do with tech yet. It's quite overwhelming, to be honest. But the idea of creating something out of thin air is similar to music and field. Same. I do agree with your feeling of this idea of creating something out of thin air, and I agree with that. Um, I think getting started in front end can be, or like in tech, can be overwhelming. So let me share you a website that has helped me a lot when I was starting out. And this is very organized because everything is kind of built as projects, so you can build a project and keep going. So Free Code Camp for learning to code. I know HTML, CSS, Tailwind. I just want to deliver one freelance project in a week, so I want to get work done fast. Gotcha. Also know JavaScript. Okay, so if you're using it as kind of like a assistant, then I would recommend using Cursor. Cursor is a editor and it's built on top of Visual Studio Code, and it helped me reduce my time from a week to 3 days to build out a application that I was working on. And the reason is because it's embedded within your code, or like it is part of your editing process, of your software writing process. It has a lot more context on what you're writing, so it's a lot better than GPT. Ma'am, would you be making videos in Hindi language also? Actually, I have made one video in Hindi language, which is React 19 actions, and I've been thinking of continuing to do that. The next fireside chat that I'm going to host is going to be in Hindi. So I'm going to be making more videos as well. But if there's a specific topic, Ishrit, that you're interested in learning, that you are kind of confused by or it's challenging, let me know. And I'll be happy to make a video on it. Okay, what? Oh, interesting. Wow, the tweet itself was deleted by the post author. I don't really know what to read here. Was Astro Framework. Okay, the topic, I should say, the topic that I suggested was Astro Framework. Okay, sounds good. Astro is something that I've been meaning to switch my site into. So if you're interested, I could make a whole project around how to start an Astro project from scratch. And that may be helpful. I should also say Front Master is also good for the project's practice. Yes, Front Master is really good. Web Dev Journey. Hi Web Dev Journey, how are you? Ma'am, when will 2K sub AMA happen? Oh, good reminder. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so you guys are going to be the first to know that AMA is happening on Friday, 10 a.m. PST. I still have to announce it on YouTube, but you are the first ones to know. So I'll see you on Friday at 10 a.m. PST on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Twitch, wherever. And for 1 hour, you can ask me any question that you want. It can be a career advice, it can be resume tips, it can be getting started into tech, it can be working at Slack, it can be appearing for an interview, it can be my own experience getting into tech, whatever you want to know. I'll be there. 1 hour on Friday at 10 a.m. PST. Okay, I'm gonna put this down here as well. This Friday, I don't know what date that is. Friday at 10 a.m. PST. YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Twitter. There you go. Okay, so Cursor actually, as of now, I'm using GitHub Copilot. Thanks for suggestion. Yeah, you're welcome. Ishre topic that Anas ma'am, your Twitter link also, please. My Twitter is also Shruti Kapoor 08. Let me share that. Twitter. I'm at Shruti Kapoor 08 in most places on the internet. Twitter. All right. Caching semantics about Next.js is not explained well in detail, so I'm going to write a note from it myself that I want to learn more about this. And I'll do this off the stream so I don't bore you guys. Okay, get route handlers are no longer cached by default. That's the stuff that they said that they are changing. We are changing the caching default for get route handlers and client router cache from cached by default to uncached by default. In Next 14, route handlers that use the get HTTP method were cached by default unless they use the dynamic function or dynamic config option. In Next.js 15, get functions are not cached by default. I think that is a big change actually. Is this a breaking change as well? No, it doesn't say so. Okay. I'll make a note of this. That get functions are not cached by default anymore. And here's a to-do for me, which is to learn about caching semantics. Also today I learned about a new framework called One. Has anybody ever heard of One or used One? OneStack.dev. One is a React framework for web and native in a single Vite plugin with universal typed file system routes across static, server, and client pages. I've never used this. I should say it's Astro. What I have tried and tested is can do everything. But how to use Astro the best way to make an app? There are many ways. I see. So you're kind of looking for best practices in Astro. Zorba, the dungeon masters of Reddit bashed me for using FreeCodeCamp, pointing me to Odin Project plus YT for doing that. Trying to get hang of reading docs and googling around. Reddit is a bashful place, and I would just say do what you like. You can even go on Udemy and honestly like learn from tutorials. If there's a Udemy course that you like that helps you kind of understand front end from a very practical perspective and helps you understand how to code in front end, who cares what Reddit says? It's helping you. FreeCodeCamp has helped so many people. I was so a little bit of background about me. So I came out of front end. I came out of a computer engineering degree from University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, and I was a I was a proficient engineer in terms of building C++ Java applications. But with front end, everything was in JavaScript, and I had never learned JavaScript at work at in school. So I used front end. I learned front end from Free Code Camp. I learned React from Free Code Camp. um, I used I built a lot of like small apps or small like programs in Free Code Camp, and that kind of got me familiar with JavaScript. So I use Free Code Camp as kind of like my front end learning platform, and I learned a lot. It was very practical. What I really needed was something that can have a good structure as to what to do next, what to learn next. Because what I needed was like a curriculum based approach, which is what how I like to learn. And Code Camp provided me exactly that. And at that point, when I was just out of college, I was not willing to pay like another $10,000 to another bootcamp program to learn, help me learn like front end, because I'd already just paid thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to for a degree. So I was just looking for something that can help me get started, and Free Code Camp was that for me. And still to date, it is helping a lot of students. So I would say don't trust or like don't get bashed down by people on Reddit, because Reddit can be a very nasty place sometimes. Do what works for you. If Free Code Camp you like, go for it. If you like Udemy, go for it. But if you like something else, go for that too. Anas says done follow. Thank you, Anas. um, Ishrit Madan says Friday 10 a.m. PST, 10 Jan would be Saturday 12 a.m. 11 Jan for IST. I believe it would be 11:30 if I'm correct. Kunj says, which app are you using for note taking? So I am actually building a newsletter while I am writing notes. So I'm creating my newsletter, and this is Substack. This is where my newsletter is, and you can find that out here. Shruti Substack. If you just look for Shruti Substack, honestly, that will just find it for you. And the note taking app is within Substack's platform itself. I really like this because it's a markdown based. I think it's a markdown based. Wait, if I write hash, yeah, it is a markdown based writing tool, and I really like it. I also use Notion for doing notes that are not going to be sent out as my newsletter. So for my personal note taking, I use Notion. Anna says, I never heard of this one. Me neither. Free Code Camp is great. I agree. Prakash, Free Code Camp is great. I have also learned from there. Yeah, see, so many people have benefited from Free Code Camp. True, Free Code Camp is great for beginning, but I think YouTube has helped me way more for learning. Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Free Code Camp is a really great place to get started. It provides you a very nice kind of curriculum structured approach and gives you a curriculum to follow. So if you are completely new to front end or back end or have no idea where to get started, that is a really great place to start. But YouTube has plenty of resources as well. Yeah, so choose what works for you. Okay. Client router cache no longer caches page components by default. In Next.js 14.2.0, we introduced an experimental stale times flag to allow custom configuration of the router cache. In Next.js 15, this flag still remains accessible, but we are changing the default behavior to have a stale time of 0 for page segments. This means that as you navigate around your app, the client will always reflect the latest data from the page components that become active as part of the navigation. However, there are still important behaviors that remain unchanged. Okay, so stale time, they're removing it down to 0 for page segments, and looks like the inspiration is so the client always reflects latest data. But that basically means that they are killing the cache for page components, which is what they're saying. Client router cache no longer caches page components by default. But I'm guessing you can actually provide it. Oh, there it is. Stale times 30. Shared layout won't be refreshed from the server to continue to support partial rendering. Back forward navigation will still restore from cache to ensure the browser can restore scroll position. Loading.js will remain cache for 5 minutes. Okay, let's do a poll. It seems that there's a lot of talk about partial rendering. There was pre-rendering, partial pre-rendering. How many of you feel uncomfortable with these concepts? Rendering, life cycles, partial rendering, partial pre-rendering, server-side rendering. If this confuses you, please tell me yes in the chat, because I'm thinking of making a video on these rendering concepts and wondering if this would be helpful for you. Anas, it's live to be here in live, ma'am. Thanks for suggestion. Now I think I need to go complete my dev work before deadline. Good luck, Anas. Have a great day. Bye. Ishrit, PPR, SSR, server streaming. There are many things. Correct. Yes. Okay, Pinak. Thank you. Abhishek has a question. Hi, Abhishek. I think I'm seeing you for the first time here. Thank you for joining. Is there anything specific you did to be good at solving problems while building web apps or anything like that? I know we need practice to get better, but I lose interest in building cliche project. I love that question. Is there anything specific you did to be good at solving problems while building web apps or anything like that? I think getting good at something is, and this goes outside of just web or tech in general, getting good at something is never about one thing. It's about continuing to improve, knowing where you are lacking, having the awareness to know what to do next or where to grow next, what avenues you can improve on, what are your weaknesses, continuing to refine your strengths, and continuing to hone in your skills. For tech in specifically, or like for web specifically, I think that entails continuing to write code, getting it code reviewed, not just writing code, but also getting it reviewed, listening to feedback, incorporating feedback, learning from others, reading up code outside of your company so you can understand best practices, keeping up with tech, and having a good mentor. I think it is a lot to do, but that is true for any profession, to be honest. I think front end changes very fast, building web applications changes really fast, but we also live in a world where we can sit at our homes, some of us work from our computers, have a pretty privileged life, thankfully. So I think it is a lot of mental labor to keep up and become good at tech, but I think it's worth it if you find something that you truly enjoy. I think you mentioned I lose interest in building cliche project. I think I feel your sentiment as well, and for me that is the same. Like anytime I see another to-do app, I'm just like, I am not doing that because I'm so sick of a to-do app. But I've built a to-do app for myself, and I really enjoyed that because I added the features that I needed and I tailored it to what I wanted. Same way, I've built like a slideshow app, and slideshow apps are, you can say, so cliche because they get asked in interviews all the time. But if you're building a component for yourself and you're using it in your own app, in your own site, I think you have a lot more motivation to work on it as opposed to just doing something for the heck of doing it. So, one thing that I would recommend is thinking of a topic or a problem that you have currently in your life that you're trying to solve. An example could be, let's say you have Spotify, or let's say you don't have Spotify, or you don't want to pay like the heavy cost of paying of getting Spotify, but you have a bunch of songs and you want to be able to play your music. You can build a music player that can take the data that you already have, which is the songs that you have, and you can learn how to stream data in, and you can learn how to play music, you can learn how to buffer, you can learn how to load artwork, you can learn how to recommend new songs. So this way you're building on your new skills, um, but you're also doing something that you enjoy, that you want to do. Similarly, you can create like an email sending, um, like for example, I'll give you an example. I wanted to learn Next.js, but I didn't really know if we're going to ever use Next.js at work, but I really wanted to learn it. So I moved my site from, I think my site was on GitHub Pages. It was just like a markdown site. I don't even know, maybe it was just index HTML or plain JavaScript. And then I moved it to Next.js just to learn Next.js. And I was a lot more motivated to work on that project because it was something that I wanted to do, that I found interest in doing. And it wasn't something that was just like another like tutorial or another to-do app. So I would say find a project that you are interested in building. It could be a problem you're trying to solve at it could be a problem you're trying to solve at work, or just a side project that you want to work on, and that gives a lot more motivation than building just a cliche project. So hopefully that helps. All right, what else is up in Next.js? React 19. Oh yeah, of course it supports React 19. All right, so that's it. That's Next.js. The next bit we're gonna do is Angular. What's new in Angular? And this is gonna be interesting because I have not touched Angular since Angular 1 or 2. Angular 19. Let's see what's new in Angular 19. I feel like at this point I would like to watch somebody's video who talks about what's new in Angular 19. Oh, there you go. Maximilian has a video. I am going to watch this after this. So I'm going to link this in here. I love Maximilian's content. It's really informative, and he usually makes a lot of content on a lot of the trending things as well. So shout out to Maximilian for doing an awesome job in teaching people. And I'm gonna watch this video after this. Okay, so wait, what? Zorba says, thank you for the insights. I'll trial and error, varied approaches. That's perfect. Reading docs is tedious, but it feels solid. I agree. Still learning React NES life cycles, its phases and rendering are a bit foggy. Hi, Pepper. My dog just decided to join us. Hi, Pepper. Okay. Sorry, I forgot the question. Reading docs is tedious, but it feels solid. I agree. Still learning React NES life cycles, its phases and rendering are a bit foggy. Okay, I think that is a good motivation for me to make a video on lifecycle and phases, React lifecycle, and I do have a video in the course that I've created. So if you watch that course, Let me know if that was helpful. But if you have not watched that course, actually, I can share a link. Um, if you've not watched that course, let me know if there's like, okay, let's see. Let's try this. This is the course that I've created, and I've talked about React lifecycle in here. But if you haven't watched that course, tell me specifically what you're interested in learning about the lifecycle methods. Are you interested in the hooks? Are you interested in how React renders on a page? Where the kind of different hooks hook in? Like, let me know what you're looking for. And I think that is a really good topic. I'm actually going to make note of that because I know that I will forget. Okay, Ishit says, then there is server components of Next.js plus how server islands of Astro are different. Okay. Um, I would correct you there. Server components is not Next.js. It's a React thing, which is enabled by frameworks like Next.js. And how they work with PPR, SSR. So these are way bigger rabbit hole to understand. Gotcha. Okay. Um, Yeah, so server islands of Astro are different from server components. Um, I'm thinking what is the best way to explain this? I think I'll make a video on this. Um, so my suggestion is, ma'am, if you make a video, please explain with code examples. Also, showcase would make it better. Okay, cool. I'm gonna copy this over and write it in my list of ideas. Thank you so much, guys. This is so helpful. With code examples. Okay, I'm gonna write that as well. That'll be really fun to do though. I'm excited to make this video. Abhishek says thank you. You're welcome, Abhishek. I hope that was helpful. Sure. Theo's YouTube videos are also can be sourced to get the new things in tech. Yes. Zorba, yes, the hooks hooking in. That is quite jarring conceptually. That is true. Yes, I agree. Inas, I just came back to ask that I just checked out Cursor and while searching I found ZAI editor just like Cursor and it's open source free, but Cursor is paid. I have not used ZAI editor, so let me check that out. ZAI. I can look here. It's available for free for the first month, which is the same as Cursor because it's available for like 15 days for free. What are your thoughts between the two? So I have not used ZAI, honest, so I can't really comment on this. But given that this is also a paid service, I have been a big fan of Cursor, and I know that a lot of people do use Cursor as well. Um, I love Cursor. It helped me a lot, so that's all I can say. I haven't used Z, so can't say much about that, but I've loved Cursor. All right. We were gonna do Angular 19. Okay, develop a preview of incremental hydration supporting the most performance demanding use cases. Control which routes render on the client, server, or during a build, and resolve route parameters during pre rendering. Schematics to keep you up to date with the latest best practices. Inputs outputs query inject based dependency injection and new build system. Stabilization of core reactivity primitives, introduction of new ones like linked signal and resource. A series of quality of life improvements, addressing feature requests with more than 2,700 thumbs up on GitHub. This includes time picker component, unused import removal, running schematics via the language service, hot module rerolling for styles, and more. You can watch a quick overview, build for speed. Okay. Incremental hydration allows you to annotate parts of your template using already familiar defer syntax, instructing Angular to load and hydrate them on specific triggers lazily. The demo above shows incremental hydration in action for a server-side rendered page. There are 3 visual effects that we've added to the demo to better illustrate what's going on. A component in grayscale filter shows that Angular hasn't loaded yet. Which of these are grayscale? Oh. I think when you load, it actually shows you the colored feature, which means that it has now loaded, but it only happens when you click on it. Angular downloads a component from the network when the component starts pulsing. Interesting. Angular has downloaded and hydrated the component when there is a purple border around it and the component no longer has a grayscale filter. I think they might be talking about these components, like the sticker itself, not the image. Web dev has a question. I have a very general question. I want to study for 5 hours, but in second hour only. If I felt overwhelmed by learning new concepts, what would you do? And have you ever felt like that? I love that question. Yeah, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now reading this. um, I think if you haven't tried Pomodoro technique, I would highly recommend Pomodoro technique. So in Pomodoro, you work for a certain number of time and then you take a break for a certain number of time. One thing that I've found that really helps me is having somebody who can work with me. So I created this like 2 hour Pomodoro coding session. And honestly, like this is how I got through pandemic. Hold on, let me share this. 2 hour Pomodoro. Watching a video for Angular would be better. I know. That's what I'm gonna do at the end of this stream because I don't know what the heck they're talking about. But yeah, what I was saying is that if you feel like you have to study for 5 hours, try to break it down into small chunks. So let's say that you study for 30 minutes, take a 5 minute break or 10 minute break, and then study for another 30 minutes, another 5 minutes, then take another 5 minute break, and so on. For me specifically, I really like studying with this concept is called body doubling. It is when you study with somebody who's also working on their stuff, and just by the fact that they are working on their stuff, you also feel motivated to continue going and not take a break. It's called body doubling. And typically you would see people who go to cafes, they like doing this a lot. When there's other people working, they would kind of they would kind of select one person that they would keep, that would be kind of like their buddy, so they would keep working until that person is working. um, in the absence of going to a cafe, or when this I started doing this is when pandemic hit and we could not go to a cafe. I started doing this Pomodoro technique. So what I would do is I would literally like play this video. Um, this is a video that I created, but I would so you can use this or any other video, but literally I would play this video and I would have the video going and I would study until the person would study, and then whenever they take a break, I would take a break. So some code with me's that I have followed are from a medical person in Canada who was studying for his medical degree. But anyways, but the point being, you study for like a small amount of time and then you take a short break, and in that short break you don't watch TV, you try to like keep away from other screens as well, and you try to refresh yourself. At the end of an hour or 2 hour, give yourself a little longer break, and then give yourself a little bit of reward as well. And this could be like, for me it's like drinking Coke, or like making tea. So you give yourself a little bit of reward, and through that you keep going for another hour, and then you go another hour, and so on. So I would suggest trying the Pomodoro technique if you haven't yet. um, if you feel overwhelmed by learning new concepts, one thing that I try to do is that, for example, I'm learning something new here, I'll time box it to 30 minutes. Kurkure, yes, I was going to say kurkure. How did you know that? uh, um, so yeah, so something that I do, especially when I'm learning something new, because I have ADHD, like really bad ADHD, and I get um really like distracted by smallest things. So one thing that I'm doing on this live stream is actually helping stay accountable by taking your help. So you're watching me study, and this is helping me stay accountable. Otherwise, what I do is I'll put like a timer for 25 minutes, and then I'll read something new in that time. And then in the next 5-10 minutes, I'll give myself a break. But in the next work session, I won't be learning something new. I'll do something that is something that I'm familiar with. So it could be like building an app that I'm already familiar with, or maybe like watching a video. It's a lot easier to learn from something when somebody is explaining it to you, as opposed to like reading an article, like I believe Ishrit was saying. So if learning something new is challenging to you, try to switch up the medium through which you learn, and try to alternate between learning something new and doing something comfortable, or doing something that you enjoy. We saw the photo of the setup, and there I think we saw kurkure. Yes, I think it was like this big packet of kurkure. My mom actually got it for me. So in Canada and USA, we have this uh, huge wholesale store called Costco, and Indian stuff is now available in Costco. It's a moment of pride, and kurkure was available in Costco, so my mom got me a big kurkure packet. Sure, thank you for the tips. I will definitely try to implement these tips. You're welcome. Okay, folks, it is 10:42. It is that time of the day when we have to say goodbye, unfortunately. I have loved talking to you over the last hour and 10 minutes and reading up on Next.js and Angular. Thank you so much for joining me on today's stream. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're not going to be reading up on what's new in React 19 or what's new in web, but we're going to be building the recommendation engine that we have been working on for the last 6 days. So I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream is going to be at 5 p.m. PST, which is 6:30 a.m. India time. But everyone, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you so much for chatting and for keeping me entertained and motivated as well. You all are awesome. Please continue doing awesome work, and you're going to achieve your goals this year.